Hi, it's Jackie here from the LGFA, and we're on a call again today, reviewing and previewing the latest activities in the world of the LGFA. We've got currentaccount.ie All-Ireland Club semi-finals coming up this weekend, and we're also looking back at the TG Cahill All-Stars with our newly crowned TG Cahill Senior Players Player of the Year and All-Star. Niamh McLaughlin is on the call from Donegal, also joined by Niall Traynor, former Monaghan manager and Ulster fixture secretary, no stranger to these catch-ups over the last few weeks, and Darren Kelly, who many of you will know from his work with Sports Daz and a proud native of Galway and former LGFA local journalist of the year as well. Folks, how are we all doing?
Yeah, all's good, Jackie. Yeah,
good. Niamh, I'm going to start with you for obvious reasons. No disrespect to the lads, but we had a little chat before we came on air. A wild night, it certainly was, Niamh, but you walked away with your very first TG Cahill All-Star and Senior Players Player of the Year. I'm sure it's taken a few days to sink in, Niamh. What's that feeling like now for you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't even know if it's sunk in yet, Jackie. I think just with the messages and everybody being really nice this last few days, I'll probably have to take a wee bit of time over the next few weeks to just sit back and reflect about it, But no, definitely a great weekend and a great night, and really, really honoured as well. Quite a surprise, but look, feeling very lucky and grateful as well at the same time.
As a Donegal captain as well, Niamh, what did it mean to you to, not just for yourself to win a TG Cahill All-Star, but on behalf of the team as well in the group, which I presume is very, very important to you, that group environment and that mentality within that Donegal setup?
Aye, for sure. Look, I'm the lucky one maybe that gets to go for the town cost or whatever it might be. But look, hopefully it can spur us on a wee bit, and nice to be recognised up in Donegal here as well. Look, there's a lot of girls there. Obviously we had 6 nominations as well, which was great for us. We're hoping for a few more, but that's the way these things go, and look, you can't fault any of the winners as well. So no, look, it's nice, and yeah, it's feeling pretty good.
Does it give you maybe added hunger or even more incentive going into next year? Niamh, Donegal contested the league final, Ulster final, reached the All-Ireland semi-finals as well. Good progress in 2022.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think for us as a group, probably we were disappointed with how it ended for us. The 2 finals, and then obviously the All-Ireland semi-final too. So yeah, look, it's nice to be recognised at the end of the year, and we'll just get back at it and hope that we can make improvements in 2023. Of course, as a group, it was probably disappointing for us, but I suppose we have to look at the positives of that as well. First time we've been to the semi-final and since I think it was 2017-18. So look, another step forward for us, but we'll just keep working at it.
And Niamh, how have your achievements gone down in the club? Obviously, very, very proud club person as well.
Yeah, no, great. Look, we had a good crowd up as well. Niamh Hegarty from my own club was nominated, so we had the Hegarty clan up with us as well. And look, it was just a great night, and even for us both to get nominated together. And Niamh's someone that, look, I've always said that whenever I was younger, she was the person I was looking at, thinking, geez, look, I'd love to be playing or playing like her, So the families would be pretty close as well. And our clubs, it's not a big place, and it's a very close-knit community. And look, I think it'd be great for getting back down now and seeing all the younger kids. And look, even the people around my age, we've quite a young team at senior level, and the girls coming through, and even for them, I think just to be, playing at that level and playing alongside us will be great for them, and I really enjoy playing with them too. So I think it's good. It's good for everybody, and it's good for the club. There's a real good buzz about it.
Fantastic, Niamh. Well done, and many congratulations. It was a very memorable night for Niamh McLaughlin from Donegal. Niall Traynor, we have the small matter of currentaccount.ie All-Ireland Club semi-finals coming up at the weekend. Donaghmoyne against Kilmacud Crokes. Just looking at it from a purely Ulster perspective, and your trained eye will be looking at these games. Derry Harps make the trip down to John Locke's in Callan to play Mullinahone in the intermediate semi-final, and also Castleblaney, fresh from their trip to Maastricht against Belgium, are in a junior semi-final against Niamh Abon from Cork. So are we talking about an Ulster clean sweep in those games, Niall, or where are the potential landmines for those teams?
Yeah, I suppose whenever you look at this, suppose the senior game with Donaghmine against Kilmacud, I suppose they will be going in at favourites, especially with the home advantage. And you look at the history and the tradition that Donaghmine has, throughout the club championship. They've won 20 titles in Monaghan, 14 Ulster titles, and 5 All Ireland. So the home advantage for them against Kilmacud will be a massive. But I think for Kilmacud will be they'll have nothing to be afraid of. They will come up the road to Donaghmine. It's just over an hour away, and they'll put the best foot forward. And I think it will be a cracking game as well. So yeah, so again, when you look at the intermediate side of it and the junior side of it, I suppose Ulster teams haven't been as successful over the last number of years. We've got a few All-Ireland finals like you seen Carrickmacross did last year. And I suppose Castleblaney will be trying to do something similar with their neighbours, their close neighbours. So again, there's loads of work being done within Monaghan in regards to club football and Ulster football. And I suppose we all look up at Donaghmine and we all aspire to be like Donaghmine. It doesn't matter if you're from Donegal or if you're from Cavan. We all want to go on the back of them with the success they have. And like people have said many times to me that Donaghine's a spent team, but as I have alluded to on this call on a few occasions, like the majority of that team is still under the age of 25. I think there was 7 or 8 players started, the Ulster final, when it was put up against them, against Moneyglass that day. But it was just the composure and the experience and the grit and the determination of them that got them through that game, and they came out the other side of it. But you have to look at Derrygonney as well. They are there on merit. They have a couple of really talented players, as you know, Emer Smith and that on their side, and in fairness, they'll be pushing as well. I suppose the carrot on the stick for them too is to play in Crow Park on the 10th of December, and that as well for the seniors. If you look at Donaghmine, some of their more senior players might have played for Monaghan in Crow Park, but a lot of the younger team wouldn't have. So it's a massive carrot on the stick for both sides to push on to play on Saturday the 10th of December in Crow Park in an All-Ireland club final.
Emer Smith's a phenomenal talent. I think she scored 2-9 last time out, which is just it's mind-blowing stuff. Just to go through the games on Saturday, and we'll come to Darren on this one particularly soon. Ballymacarby from Waterford against Kilkerran-Clonberne, who are the holders in the senior semi-final. On Sunday then we've 5 matches. Donaghmine against Kilmacud Crokes at senior, 2 intermediate semi-finals. Longford Slashers against Charlestown from Mayo, Mullinahone from Tipperary against Derrygonney Harps from Fermanagh, and at junior level we have Salthill Knocknacarra from Galway. Might ask Darren about them as well, against O'Dwyer's from Dublin. Neva Bawn from Cork against Castleblaney from Monaghan. So that's your 6 games. We're happy to confirm that we'll be live streaming all 6 games as well, and tickets are also on sale. Just visit our website for details on all of that. Darren Kelly from Sports Daz fame, how are we doing? Darren, just looking at Ballymacarby against Kilkerran-Clonberne, I suppose the one-time queens of ladies football from Ballymacarby and Waterford against who are now the cream of the crop in Kilkerran-Clonberne. Should be a really, really good game, this one.
Oh, it was the first thing I did, Jackie, was make sure I sorted out my ticket for Dungarvan on Saturday, because it's a game that whets the appetite. Just looking at Ballymacarby first, and people will look at their record in Waterford, 41 titles, but not having won a Munster Championship since 2000. But they were always there. They were always knocking on the door. There was some great Cork teams have come in recent times. Of course, most recently, Mournappy, who went on to win a couple of All-Irelands. But it's like as though they've been liberated since they finally got one over Mournappy in the quarter-final back at the beginning of October. They scored 3 goals that day. There's not many teams to beat a Cork and Kerry team to win a provincial title. They went on and beat Southern Gales as well, 397 points, and they showed their grit in the weather against the Banner in the final 2 to get the job done. They're at home. They have the tradition, as you mentioned. They're 10 times All-Ireland champions. They won't fear. They'll come in with this kind of going, we're here to compete. We always felt we could compete. We always felt we were a top 6 team, and it promised to be very, very interesting. On the other side, of course, while Ballymacarby are the one-time queens of the game, Kilkerran-Clonberne have been the force. They've been gradually. I've been watching this team working their way up through the underage ranks. This year, they completed 10 county titles in a row, which is normally considered a great achievement until you compare it to Donaghmine and to Ballymacarby. And what they have done, they've completed the drive for 5 in Connacht. What I've noticed about them this year is that composure. It's like after finally winning the All-Ireland title, They're able to control games. They're not just going to try and build up the big score. Like against Clare Galway, for example, in the county final, there were 10, 11 points up at half time, and they shut the game down, added a few more scores. We met your Clare Galway. I didn't get back into it. So they're well able to manage a contest. Now, they'll go in as favourites, and rightfully so. They are the All-Ireland champions, but they are making the long trip. They're taking on a team that has the tradition as well. It's all going to be game management. If Clonburn get on top of this game in the early stages, and they have the firepower there, they have Louise Moore, the leader, Siobhan Dibley, it's a great midfield partnership there. They've young attackers, Eva Noon, Ailish Marcy, Chloe Miskell, they're going to take some stopping as well. Nicola Ward, Sarah Gormley behind them. If they get their noses in front, and of course we have to take the weather and everything into account, it'll be tough for Ballymacarbery, but as we've seen, Ballymacarbery have not conceded any goals in the Munster Championship campaign. They conceded 2 in the county final, all right. But they have Michelle Ryan, who's one of the most famous names in ladies football, winning her 24th county title, I think, and herself, Michelle McGrath, the Lynx, from that Munster success in 2000. They have many Waterford players who I've always felt should be performing better on the inter-county scene than they are at the moment. If they click in front of their home support, if they get on top and Kilkerran Clonburn, it's going to be a very, very exciting contest on Saturday, and one of them, Jackie, that I'm really, really looking forward to, as I said already.
Absolutely. So where are you off to on Sunday then, Darren?
Well, you were mentioning about streaming. You're mentioning about streaming matches in a way. So
that's my segue, Darren. You take the ball and run with it now. So go on, tell us.
Well, the hurling match on at Beer Stadium, I'm going next door to the big match at the All-Ireland semi-final. And again, it's another intriguing one. Of course, we're talking about the currentaccount.ie All-Ireland Junior Football semi-final. Salton Nacara against O'Dwyer's from Dublin. Regards O'Dwyer's, again, they're coming into the unknown like many teams do in the intermediate and junior ranks. But of course, we know the Dublin Championship is strong. 2 Dublin teams won All-Ireland titles last year as well. So they'll be coming down feeling they can get a job done. And I'm really impressed with their midfielders, and Anna Kelly and Katie McCabe in particular, and Shannon Richardson, I think, scored 6 goals in the provincial championship campaign. On the other side, Salton Nacara, who I was reliably told during the week are the biggest GAA club in Connacht. You know, they do the one club, one model as well. They've had great success, like their Camogie team were in All-Ireland intermediate final back in March. And the experience of those dual players could be vital for them, not just the fact they're playing at home. You have Emma Madden, Sarah Donnell and Siobhan Dibley in the defence as well. You have Aoife and Laura Kelly in attack. 3 of those 5 players were also part of the Galway intermediate Camogie team that won in All-Ireland as well. So they have big match experience, which is going to be massive on a day like this. After beating St. Fercy's in the county final, they came through Connacht well. St. Mary's Kiltargan give them a right going in the Connacht semi-final, but they were home, and even as Niall mentioned there, but Donamoyne at home, and home advantage in a semi-final is a massive thing as well if you can use it to your advantage. There's always a great atmosphere in the Prairie. It's their club ground beside Pearse Stadium. The crowd are right up on top of you, and with the Salton Nacara support there, like, I don't know what support will be coming down from O'Dwyer's. I've no doubt there'll be great busloads coming down. They're going to have to make their voices heard. When I say that, they're well able to score goals. They've scored 10 goals in the last 2 matches as well. O'Dwyer's conceded a few against Raheens from Kildare. That's something they can't afford in this match, but the atmosphere is going to be unreal. You might call me a guy man making a prediction here, but home advantage, you know, you feel Salton Nacara have a slight edge, but as I said at the very start, we know the strength of these Dublin teams, especially coming through an intermediate and junior, and O'Dwyer's are not coming down here to make up the numbers. Again, another great occasion on Sunday.
Good stuff, Darren, and wrap up well for the weekend. You'll be out and about, and we don't know what kind of weather conditions we're going to get at this time of the year. So yeah, good. You've teed up those games very well, Darren. Thanks for that. Just back to yourself, Niamh, for a couple of moments. Now that you know you have the awards banked and on the mantelpiece, and is it a feeling now you want to just take a step back a little bit from football, or would you take an interest now in these games, Niamh, that are coming up to Christmas on the club scene, or would you rather just turn off the phone, turn off the laptop, and just get out for a walk and enjoy nature at the weekend?
No, for sure. I'd definitely be keeping an eye on the games. I was just trying to figure out the times there, because you're not involved, you tend to maybe enjoy it a wee bit more as well. And look, you can, all those teams, especially in that senior, you know, there's a lot of inter-county players there that you be playing against week in and week out, and you know, they're all teams, probably apart from Donamoyne at the minute. You know, there's a whole pile of them, whereas Donamoyne historically would have had, you know, a large majority of the Monaghan team. So I think that just shows you how strong Donamoyne are and the club scene is there in Monaghan for them, and that they can compete at that level against all these other teams. And I suppose out of the 4 teams there, you know, more recently, Donaghmoyne have probably been there and thereabouts, whether it is winning or, you know, provincial and national kind of stage with it. So no, I'll definitely be keeping a close eye on it. And you know, you're chatting to a few of the girls there at the weekend as well, and they're all looking forward to it. The girls from the different counties and different provinces. So no, I'll definitely be watching them anyway. It's something that I like doing. You can kind of sit back and enjoy it a wee bit more as well, you know, when the nerves aren't at yourself.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. So for the 2 senior games, Niamh, you won't thank me for this, but here we go. So Ballymac against Kilkerran-Clonberne. Who's going to win that one?
I'm going to say Kilkerran, probably similar to Darren there. I think they just they probably have that wee bit more of experience at this last wee while at that level. But you know, saying that, Ballymac are they're riding on the crest of a wave there. So you know, winning's a habit. So I think it'll be close, and I think it'll be a very open, fast game, hopefully attacking game, because that's the way both teams kind of play. But I think Kilkerran might pinch it.
Okay, so who will they play in the final then? Will it be Donaghmoyne or Kilmacud Crokes?
Jeez, do you know what? You've put me on the spot here. I think again, I think look, I think it'll depend on how the game maybe starts. You know, any team that comes out of Dublin are going to be physical. They're going to be up for it, and Donaghmoyne can play that way as well. I think whatever way maybe the referee lets it go in the first wee while, you know, hopefully that doesn't take things. But look, as Niall said there, Kilmacud will be coming up the road. They have a lot of good players. I think just at that level as well, especially club level, Donaghmoyne, just watching them even in the Money Glass game, even when the sticks were down and they had a red card, and then they the sin bin as well, they were just able to manage it so well, and that's something that they've been doing for, you know, that's why they are where they are, and that's why they're so good at what they do. They can just manage the games that way. So I'll probably go Donaghmoyne, but also I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Okay, so Donaghmoyne against Kilkerran-Clonberne for you in the final. Niamh, we'll see how it all pans out. Niall, back to your good self, and sadly news has broken of the passing of former GAA President Sean McCaig, and on behalf of all of us at the Ladies Gaelic Football Association, we'd like to pass on our sincere condolences and sympathies to Sean's family and friends. A man you were obviously aware of, and a man that was deeply loved and cherished in County Monaghan.
Yeah, no, in fairness, the former GAA president for 2000 to 2003, a big star in GAA in Monaghan as well, and also as Brenda McInnesby, who was taken into the Hall of Fame, the TG Carr Hall of Fame there. He was a big advocate of her to play Gaelic football as well. So no, in fairness to Sean McCaig, he's a big loss to the community and big loss to the county. But he was a big Gael follower in regards to ladies and men's football within the county. And like, you know, he had big family connections as well from both sides of it. You know, he had his brother who was the local primary school principal. He has his daughter now who is the primary school principal as well. So massive connections. And his nephew David McCaig was former Monaghan coach as well with Seamus McInerney. He's principal of the St. McCartan's College now in Monaghan as well. So the McCaig family have big connections throughout the county and throughout the province of Ulster.
Yeah, he'll be sadly missed. And again, we pass on our sincere condolences to Sean's family and network of friends, wide circle of friends indeed, and he a great friend of ladies football down through the years, as you say, Niall. So Arieshte Garev Anam. Darren, back to your good self, and look, we don't often talk about this kind of stuff on the show, but in terms of match commentaries and streaming and the stuff that you do, can you tell us what kind of preparation you'll be putting in this week as you prepare to get out and about to the various matches? How do you get your hands on some of the basic information that you so eloquently described when you spoke on the last segment with the facts and figures? How much work goes into all of that stuff, Darren?
Oh, well, Jackie, like anything too, when you go to a game, you have to be prepared. I think the viewer or the listener, as the case may be, deserves that. So, like 2 or 3 days out from the game, if not before, and we'll be checking up on potential starters. We have a fair idea of like who we expect to start for the respective teams. But of course, you never know until the day of the match in particular. But you do your homework as well, and you'll be checking up previous performances. Say, for example, the game that we mentioned earlier on, Sultan Nottingham and O'Dwyer's from Dublin, that I'll be doing on Sunday. I've already copies of what I expect to be the 2 starting teams. You know, we'd be checking out individual stuff. I like little nuggets from players. You know what I mean? Because it allows to be more relatable too, and you get to know these teams as well, but also how their performances, the history of the club, the work that goes in behind. Often they would have a chat with a manager or even a club official leading up to the game as well. So, you know, you'd be, for a commentary, me personally anyway, I'd be putting at least 2-3 hours work minimum, just putting notes together, let alone having a phone call with anyone, because you don't know what way a game is going to go. I always say when a game is cracking in the heat of the summer, when the ball's moving fast and all that, sometimes you mightn't even get near enough. When Niamh McLaughlin is flying down the field scoring big scores, like, you know what I mean, you're watching the action on the field of play. But of course, this time of the year in particular, you're getting slower matches, you're getting lower scores. You know, you don't want to be just standing there humming and hawing the whole way through. So, you know, we'd be looking at the individual players, making sure like passes are organized, making sure like liaising with the camera crew or your phone lines if it's radio work as well. And just like no different, Jackie, to anybody who does any job in the country, is making sure you know as much about the two respective teams, the occasion, the match that's taking place, so that when the ball is thrown in, say at 1:30 on Sunday, for example, we're ready to go and tell people exactly what's going on and give them the best coverage we can.
Good stuff, and we look forward to hearing from you on Sunday, Darren. Folks, that is about it for today. So many thanks for popping on the call this afternoon. My special guest, Niall Traynor, top left-hand side of my screen, Niamh McLaughlin, bottom left-hand side of my screen, and Darren Kelly, bottom right-hand side of my screen as I look. Folks, thanks for coming on today. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, Jackie. Thanks,
Thank you very much.